All right, next, on to the next gland here. So let's go through the thyroid gland. Okay, so the thyroid gland is anterior to the trachea, just inferior to the thyroid cartilage right here, right? Okay. So this big shield, remember, is the thyroid cartilage right there. It's part of the larynx. Okay. So the thyroid gland is actually going to have two sets of hormones. One set of hormones is going to have a hormonal stimulus, and the other set of hormones is going to have a humoral stimulus or a blood level stimulus. So over here, let's go over what previously happened. Okay. So we had the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus is going to send a releasing hormone down the hypophyseal portal vein to the anterior pituitary gland, which is going to release thyroid stimulating hormone. Okay. Thyroid stimulating hormone targets the thyroid gland, right? Remember, it's going to come down these thyroid arteries, supplying information or those hormones to the thyroid gland. As a result, the thyroid gland is going to make and release two hormones. Okay. I'm not going to try to spell these because I cannot spell them correctly. So we're just going to know them as T3 and T4. Okay. So dioxanine and triiodothiamine, something like that. Both of these hormones are going to have the same targets and effects, essentially. They probably do slightly different things in a slightly different way. But what you want to understand is they're going to target body cells. Okay. And when they target the body cells, their effect is this. The body cell has already absorbed sugar. So the sugar inside the cell now needs to be converted into energy. What T3 and T4 do is tell the cell how to convert the energy, the sugar into energy faster, basically. So it's gonna make our body cells make energy faster. Or let's say transform this here. I realized I forgot something on the other one, but it's okay. So essentially that's what T3 and T4 are doing. T3 and T4 are going to help us make sure that glucose gets transformed into energy when it's inside of the body cell. When it targets these body cells, it's also helping with growth and development as well. Because in order to grow, you need sugar to do that. You need energy to do that. So when you have growth hormone being released, plus T3 and T4, they all work together to help make sure that the body grows in proportion and has enough energy in order to do that. Okay. So thyroid glands, I don't know, it seemed really complicated, but that made it seem really easy. So remember, you want to think about this is not reducing blood sugar. This is not increasing blood sugar. This is taking the sugar that the cell has already absorbed, and it's going to help transform it into energy faster, basically. So you're going to burn sugar at a faster rate. That's kind of what you guys know as metabolism. So these are metabolic hormones, okay? Then the other thing is that the thyroid gland is going to make another hormone. Okay, this hormone regulates blood calcium levels. So we can kind of do this whole stimulus thing here, but that sort of doesn't work very well because what we're looking for is blood calcium levels. Okay, I'm going to try not to do this as like it's seesaw, teeter-totter thing. And here we're going to have normal calcium levels. I don't know what those normal calcium levels are, but let's just say we have normal blood calcium level. Okay. If for some reason you have a increase in blood calcium levels, so let's just say we have a stimulus, okay? What our stimulus is going to be is an increase in blood calcium levels. So let's just say we have an increase in blood calcium levels, okay? And we kind of do a homeostatic mechanism here where, okay, what's our receptor? Well, the receptors are actually going to be in the thyroid gland. So basically, calcium levels are going to be sent here to the thyroid gland. And if the thyroid gland says everything's normal, then it's not going to release too much of this hormone. Once blood calcium levels increase, and that's received by the thyroid gland, then basically the thyroid gland is also the control center here and essentially almost the effector, but not quite the effector, mostly the control center. So the thyroid releases a hormone. Maybe I'll make that another color so we know. It releases calcitonin. Okay. Calcitonin has to be our effector. It has to do effects. It has to have specific targets. So we can say one of those targets is our kidneys. Okay. Another target is going to be the bones. I'm just going to draw head of a femur a little bit. Kind of looks more like a dog. Sorry, go with me on that. Which is right, bones. Okay. At the kidney, what you're going to do is you're going to release more calcium. So basically, you want to think about Ca2 plus is added to urine. That's what's going to happen. Okay. At the bones, here are osteoclasts stop working. So when osteoclasts stop working, osteoblasts work more, and so we add calcium to bone. The overall effect or the result, right? Those are the responses. The result here is we decrease Ca2 blood levels. I forgot to put blood relate there. Okay. Then our result is we turn our system off here. That's essentially what's happening here. So we see is as soon as blood calcium levels increase, this is our stimulus, the thyroid gland senses that. It tells us, it basically makes a decision to release calcitonin. And calcitonin is going to target two things, the kidneys, where the kidney is going to say, oh, I'm going to get rid of calcium because calcium is too high. Okay. It's also going to target bones where osteoclasts are starting to break down, like osteoclasts are working to break down bone in order to calcium in blood. You just tell them, hey, stop working. Osteoblasts work a little bit harder, and essentially they add more calcium to bones. This is going to start to drop our blood calcium levels. And as we go back to our normal blood calcium level, we turn our system off. That's our overall result. So you see the thyroid gland is going to help us do two things. One is metabolism and a little bit of growth and development, and the other one is blood calcium levels.